What's up, guys? It's Justin Kahn back with another episode of Fractal Radio. And today we're talking with the co founders of MetaLeague, which I'm really excited about. We've got Joey Ivy, who's been a buddy of mine for a couple of years, and then Megan and the infamous Mr. T. I love that. I love that. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, doing well.
Amazing. So MetaLeague, it's cool. It's I think one of the first sports games, or the first sports game that I've talked to on the blockchain. Tell us about the idea behind MetaLeague, how you guys came together to start this project. What's the backstory?
Yeah, totally. So, me personally, I've been a gamer my whole life, probably since I was about 5 years old. Used to game with my dad growing up. Besides the gaming aspect, my parents met in art school after they got out of the military, so I had that art aspect as well. To add to that, fortunately, I was a big enough guy to get recruited super heavy in high school for football. Ended up playing Division I football at the University of Florida.
How big are you?
Went on
Sorry.
6'3". Pause. No, I'm kidding. 6'3", 300 pounds. I'm trying to lose some weight now. It's probably about time for my health to start dropping some weight. But yeah, so I got drafted to the Cowboys and just kind of bounced around. I had a lot of injuries and a lot of adversity and stuff. But basically, I just had, being a gamer and loving art and obviously loving sports, kind of came up with an idea of how can I bring sports fans and non-sports fans together. So I was like, all right, well, first off, art really interests people. Like, if it catches your eye and you love what you're looking at, it's going to interest you right off the rip. So I'm like, all right, well, why don't we create a futuristic cyberpunk style sports league, right? And we incorporate several different things. It obviously it's got the general rule of football, where you're trying to score a touchdown, 7-on-7 league. But we wanted to incorporate things like power ups and super moves, and almost like how Madden Blitz and Madden Street was. Everyone talks about how they love that game. People played that game so much back in the day. So to me, it's making more like an advanced, futuristic version of that, but on the blockchain. And that way you bring in two different crowds of people. If you look at most of these sports fans, though, a lot of them aren't even in NFT and crypto. So it also can promote mass adoption, because you get more people into the game, and then organically they're going to get into crypto and NFTs. But yeah, that's about it. Besides, like how it came apart, it was just an idea. And me and Megan went to college together. We were friends in college, and she is good buddies with the founders of Gutter Cats. So that's kind of how she went to high school with them. It's kind of how she got into it. So then we kind of had a similarity there, and that's how we kind of start talking on this.
Right. So Joey and I couldn't have more drastically different backgrounds. So Joey is more on the creative sports side of it. I actually completed medical school, so I'm a little more on the analytical, get it done kind of side. So that's what's driven our partnership from the beginning is we're able to have the ideas and we're able to take action. We see perspectives on the more intellectual investment opportunity side, but then we also see opportunities on the other side, the creative side, the gaming side, and where our two opinions and our two perspectives meet is where we found that sweet spot. And that's kind of where all of our opportunities have been thus far, is being able to see two completely different perspectives and work together and communicate to combine them to make something really special.
And then to round out the A team, they brought on Mr. T. So tell us, where do you come in?
So I was working for an NFT project on Solana called RABP, which is Refined Ape Block Party. It's also a project that has a multi-chain NFT marketplace called Chain Collection. And so I was the chief strategy officer and the chief marketing officer for that project. And Joey came in and was just kind of, shooting some ideas my way and wanted to, talk in private. And so we started talking. And he told me about his project with MetaLeague, and it was really intriguing. And we started a friendship that we've built till, to this point. And just learned a lot about his project along the way. And I kind of came to him and said, is there potential for me in this project? And he said, yeah, let's do some Discord and some other things of that nature. And so we started building that friendship. And then, I got to know Meg. She's really smart. Like she said, really analytical and has a lot of great ideas. So that was kind of how I found MetaLeague. My background, I have a degree in construction engineering. I did a lot of project management and draftsmanship, doing like designs for like commercial buildings and residential buildings. So that's kind of my background. But I've been in crypto since 2012 roughly, and I just love this space and the NFT space. So
Awesome. All right, let's go through the like some of the backstory. And I loved NFL Blitz, by the way. It was one of my favorite games. I sunk hours and hours playing the Super Nintendo version. I think that was the very first version.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, that was my favorite. I mean, it was accessible. It was kind of like a sports game that wasn't, if you weren't that knowledgeable about football, you can kind of like still play it.
Oh, 100%. And my thing too with sports games now is like they just get so repetitive, and it's the same thing every year. And it's kind of boring, honestly, for the most part. I mean, it could be fun, but I just wanted to throw some excitement into sports and make it more interesting, more fun for everybody.
Hell yeah. All right, let's watch this video. So this is like this is kind of like a teaser trailer that you guys did of the locker room, right?
Yeah.
Tell us
Yep,
what we're
yep.
seeing.
So we'll make some. Yeah. So this is a locker room. It'll be something similar to this. The developer said they can make something fairly similar to this, and basically the idea is for holders are going to be able to buy later on personal real estate, and it'll be a locker room, and you'll be able to show off your actual avatar on a podium, or whatever we specifically decide to do, and show off all your Solana art in your little personal locker room. Bring your buddies in. I just thought it was a cool idea because I'm thinking like Madden or like I don't remember those games having your own little personal real estate that you own, So I think it's
Yeah.
first of its kind, and it could be really, really interesting.
And did I hear something about you guys doing, player chats at the locker rooms or player hangouts, things like that?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, all the guys, buddies, the network of guys I know that are in the NFT space. It's difficult with some guys because they're like, "What's an NFT?" They have no idea.
Yeah.
But from the guys I know, it's doing these little. We want to do like little meet and greets and have like a little conference room and basically get them proactive and in competitions. Because to me, at the end of the day, athletes are competitors. So I mean, it's easier for me to bring on guys that want to compete in the game and compete with the community and be a part of something that's fun. Because when it's fun and you're enjoying it, you're gonna want to do it. But if it feels like a hassle and a job, it's very it's hard to get more guys in. But yeah, for the most part, it's just getting my network of guys involved and kind of building a community around that. And it's almost for me, it's like a branding purpose as well.
Yeah.
When you have a game like this. You take the best of the best for that sport and you help use that as a brand, and it makes it more intriguing for people to like, okay, I know what football is. This guy's into it. So let me check it out.
So Joey actually has experience with a platform that kind of integrated athletes or celebrities in with different gaming aspects. So that's kind of what we're trying to do too, is we had all these athletes reach out through Joey's network, as he has been already kind of talking to them about NFTs and crypto and things like that. He's been like a unofficial crypto advisor to a lot of his network. So he's actually had a lot of people reach out to him and want to be part of the MetaLeague. So with that, we are planning on integrating actual professional athletes, e-athletes, into our future game, our future tournaments. So you can actually be playing alongside athletes, as well as we do have these 5 faction breakdowns, and each faction will be led by a professional athlete.
All right, so we're walking through, and it seems like you guys have 5 factions of different types of players. Like kind of, I guess these are humans, cyborgs, robots, aliens, and the Undead Army. It's pretty spooky. Tell us about the different factions, how they're going to play in the game, how you guys came up with them.
Being a gamer myself, I was thinking of what would be super interesting for like a not necessarily. I guess with David, we kind of had bounced some ideas back and forth. Originally, it was 50 teams, and they were like, okay, that's a lot of teams. That's a lot of different people we got to deal with and different teams, and who knows how many teams are going to be active. So we narrowed it down to 5 factions. It made a lot more sense to do a faction and make it super competitive, and that way you have enough people in each faction to where there's going to be enough people to be active and compete and try to win rewards. So for each faction, on our white paper, it'll have it. But for each faction, there's a breakdown of their story. I came up with like a little fiction background for each one. All of them come from different planets, and they were all called to compete in the Metaverse, and that's how MetaLeague was formed. So they're all called to compete for survival and resources to provide for each faction. That's kind of like the little fiction background. And the goal is to continue to add factions as we go. We have 5 now, but if the community if the community grows strong and builds, like, the goal is to, maybe we do an ape faction, or we collab with another NFT project, and they have their NFT. We get a 3D rendered and put it on an armor, a body of armor, and then we have MetaLeague and their NFT, and it's a little collab. But yeah, so that's basically it. And yeah, we have the 5 NFL guys that are in our little core group that are going to be helping lead some of these factions. And we have it written down, but I don't say it's permanently. Each one's permanently designated to each faction, I guess.
Oh, I see. So
So
you have 5 pro ballers who are each going to lead one of these factions.
Yeah, they're just going to be involved, and I think they're just going to help brand each faction. So it's like, to me, it's like a competitive way for each faction to kind of build their mini community, and having different Discord channels for each faction. So then it brings like a competitive nature to it. I mean, to me, people thrive off competition, and I just haven't seen too many competitive NFT drops.
That's Rodney Adams, Jordan Scarlett, Alex Bachman, Jordan Lucas, and Max Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
so essentially, when you mint one of the NFTs, you will mint a character in one of these 5 factions, and then that is the faction that you kind of belong to. So we will have one of those professional athletes as like the head of the faction, and then from there we can kind of incorporate that competitive spirit of sports by having interfaction competitions, faction versus faction tournaments, things of that nature. So you really feel like a sense of belonging with your faction.
Gotcha. And then there will be this community on Discord for each faction for you to, participate with. Like, so tell us how the game's going to work, or how the NFT is going to interact with the game.
I think we're going to start off game-wise with a browser-based game, just because of the it's easier to scale for the short term. I think a downloadable game is something that everyone wants, but from a development standpoint, it takes a little bit longer to apply that. They can connect their wallet from browser into the game. That NFT that they hold in their wallet will basically upload into the Metaverse, or the game, 7v7 football game. And the character will basically be your avatar for your team. It'll be, like I said, a 7v7 concept football game. The 6 other teammates on your team will be AI, and they'll represent one of the 5 factions: the robot cyborgs, aliens, undead, and of that nature. And then the other team will basically be a generated AI as well, whichever team it is that you're facing. The avatar is kind of like a flex per se, or an aesthetic thing. It doesn't grant any in-game bonuses or ability. Later on, we think we will implement the play and earn tokenomics and that utility, of course, so that if you hold an NFT, you'll be able to compete in like wager matches against other players and potentially earn some sort of crypto, whether it's ours or something else. That's still to be decided. But basically, by having that avatar, you kind of hold that aesthetic property in game, just like a game like Fortnite or CS:GO, but in a sports game sense. And then also on top of that, by holding an NFT will give you certain values along the way for holding before the game comes out. So you'll have access to meet and greets and special events with athletes. You'll be able to use that NFT potentially to stake, but the staking value isn't so much in tokens that you can sell on like a secondary market. The tokens will be used to purchase future assets in the game. Cosmetic items that you can add, wraps to your locker room, things of that nature to bling out your space. And so with the game, as Joey had alluded to earlier, there's going to be, it's going to be predicated less like a Madden, more so like a blitz, like Joey said. With the blitz, you've got the boosts that come up. Each play will be a random occurrence of boosts on the playing field. Certain boosts will give you a speed uptick. They'll give you a strength factor when you're tackling, giving you a chance to knock the ball out and cause a fumble, things of that nature. So, the game will have different elements. The NFTs will, for now, be a cosmetic thing in game, but will hold their value elsewhere. So,
Gotcha. Cool. And tell us about the timeline for how you guys are gonna develop this game and launch it.
Yeah, so basically we are working with Open Portal, and the goal is to get this first mint out, and after that, get a locker room, personal real estate locker room developed, along with conference room, meet and greet, and potential stadium. And then for me, the big part of this is like, I really want the community to be active in how they kind of want this game to be built. Like, I want them to be proactive in kind of voting on certain things and what they may or may not like. Because to me, it's like keeping an open mind and kind of working off what fans of the NFT itself like and don't like, I think is really big for development. And so the game itself should be ready early next year, as far as speaking to them lately. And the timeline, I mean, compared to most developers, is fairly quick. And I mean, we're talking about building a whole game here. So I think, I'm super excited for it.
Cool. And what are some of the ways that the community is going to be able to participate in, kind of determining the direction of MetaLeague?
So personally, I just had the idea of maybe listing a few options that we could do, and basically taking the community vote on what they think would be the best route for the specific game, or basically maybe listing some options or for some specific things we can drop for the project before the game is released. I think just being super involved with them is key and huge, and they're part of. To me, when you're in the process of getting a game developed and you have a big community like that, they're part of something special, because they're going to look back and be like, hey, I was part of that game, MetaLeague, that MetaLeague Sports Collection game that was developed. I was part of that NFT project, So, yeah, that's basically it.
So my understanding is the mint is coming in April, right? We don't have a final date. We'll drop it below, but sometime soon in April, you're going to be able to mint on Fractal, fractal.is/MetaLeague, and get your NFT player.
Yep.
What's your guys' favorite faction?
The real question is, what's your favorite faction, Justin?
I like this alien one. I don't know anything about it, but
Okay.
I feel like they're probably going to have some like sticky hands or something like that. Glue on their gloves.
Yeah, I like it.
That's like an So I'm excited. I want to draw one of these aliens.
I like it.
I like the robots.
I'd say I'm probably a robot. Yeah, robot.
Okay. I'm a
Robots. All right.
There's a little backstory about each faction listed on our white paper. So if you read through them, there's some unique characteristics that each one kind of has, and it doesn't necessarily play a part in our game, but just knowing that background, I would definitely say robot.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm with you, Justin. I'm a big alien guy myself, so.
Hell yeah.
We're ready for battle.
Ready for battle. Awesome. Anything else that we didn't cover about MetaLeague or how people are going to be able to interact with these NFTs.
Yeah. So I'll just touch on the private jeweler aspect a little bit. I really personally like this part just because it's one of my buddies who I played football with in college. His name's Jordan. He had a career-ending injury, but he obviously had a big future outside of football. His dad is a diamond dealer in Israel, part of a big company out there, and he gets basically wholesale plus even better prices on jewelry. So I came to him, I was like, hey, dude, have you ever thought about getting into the NFT space? And he was like, yeah, I actually have. So I'm like, well, why don't we come up with something where you get involved with MetaLeague and you can be like a private jeweler for holders. It would be an awesome incentive for holders, and B, it's going to bring you good business. And usually he's more of a friends and family and word of mouth kind of guy with his business because it's, through his dad. But he's like, actually, this is an awesome idea. So he's been actually real pumped about it. And he's creating he wants to create his own personal, a lot of people have those little Apple Watch necklaces. He wants to create his own that's not an Apple Watch. He's going to need an electrical engineer for that. But he has the design for the necklace, and then basically it'd be like a little screen, and you can see your NFT on the screen. And basically the ability to do whatever else he wants. And I'm like, look, you get those in the right hands of the right people, that people are just going to want them, I haven't seen a whole lot of people do that yet. I mean, honestly,
Dude, I love that. So you guys are going to run your own private ice box for members.
yeah, exactly.
TV Johnny or something.
Right.
that's funny. Maybe I'll
Private
get
ice box.
my MetaLeague Alien PFP as a pendant or something. That'd be funny.
Dope.
All right, that's awesome. That's such a random perk, but I guess it makes sense for.
I just knew. I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, if you think about football players, man, like people like to be iced out. Like me personally, I wasn't really a big jewelry guy, but that's just kind of what the culture is. So I was like, why not add it into MetaLeague? So, it was kind of a perfect thing. We also have have another thing that Megan, her friends from our college, they have a private newsletter. I don't know if you want to touch on that, Megan.
Right. So we wanted to hit every aspect, and just our goal is to give as much utility to our community as possible. So we've covered sports, we've covered gaming, and another aspect that's kind of ingrained in the NFT world is investment opportunities, right? You have your connections, you have investment opportunities. So one of the other utility perks that we are giving to our holders is actually an investment newsletter that'll have multiple early round investment opportunities and ways to kind of expand your network if that's something that you're looking into. So they're not opportunities that we personally endorse, but we have made a partnership with a company that helps establish startup companies and helps kind of grow them to the point of production. And so with that partnership, we're able to offer early round investment opportunities, angel investing to our holders for people who are specifically trying to go out and make the connections to be able to invest in different things. Instead of having to make the connection themselves, being in our community extends our network and our partnerships to them as well.
Gotcha. All right. Where can people find MetaLeague online? What's your Twitter, Discord, website?
Website is www.metaleaguesports.io. Twitter is just @MetaLeague. Discord, you can find the Discord on website, Twitter, and Instagram is MetaLeague @MetaLeague NFT. To me, honestly, Twitter and Discord are the best ones there. Yeah,
that's where to be.
That's where to be. Screw Instagram.
All right. Awesome. Well, guys, it's great to catch up about MetaLeague. We're excited for the mint, and I'll see you guys soon.
Sounds good. Appreciate you having us, Justin.
Thanks for having us.